We're joined by Aaron. How are you doing?
Hi, Russ. Good afternoon, mate.
You all right?
Yeah, good pal. You?
Not bad, not bad. You had a good weekend?
Oh, another heavy one, mate. I tell you,
Yeah,
it's been a rough Monday. This one, mate.
was it?
Yeah, bit wet, innit?
I filmed that March yesterday with a kid who used to work at Sky. Greesborough, Rotherham.
Yeah,
Put on by Scott Brunt and his Mrs. Emma, the Posh and Becks of Greesborough. I enjoyed it. There were a good about 800 people there. War memorial, church service, and then they had a live band on and all that. It was brilliant, mate. I enjoyed it.
yeah. It's nice to see a good turnout, isn't it? People still getting out there. My great granddad he served in World War I, got a medal, got through it alive. Yeah, so it's always nice to see people show respects, mate.
Big Ron were there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did his
big
show go ahead in end?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, said it went all right.
Uh,
I told
see,
him that. Go on.
Yeah, see, Izzy's show went down a storm, didn't it? Some really good fights on there, some interesting contests.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, right. Let's change it up a little bit. Manny and Floyd, right? Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. They fought probably you could say 5, 6, 7 years till eight, didn't they? Right. Now they want what they're wanting us to buy into another one. It must be a decade since they fought, is it, Aaron?
Yeah, I think it's coming up 11 years, I think. I heard somebody say it the other day.
Yeah, yeah, 11 year. So do you know what I mean? It's how can they keep expecting boxing fans to keep dipping in the pocket for this rematch nonsense? And I'll keep going on about it, but that's my opinion. I just think it's the TV companies. They're them and the media are killing it off, aren't they?
Yeah, it's just regurgitating nonsense. And they were two old men when they went in first time, weren't they? So,
We're
what,
talking
what
May,
really
aren't
would
they? We're
what
talking
would it?
May. That'll be. You're right. That'll be 11 year.
Yeah, I mean, what does it prove, mate? The it's just an exercise to flood their own bank accounts, isn't it? And yeah, I mean, will we watch it? Probably because there's not a lot else happening, and that's the issue, isn't it?
Yeah, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth, mate. To be honest.
Yeah, I mean, we've had it over here, haven't we, with the sons of legends, and they've been balled up, and obviously we've got the Eubank Ben on the weekend again, which is another one that doesn't need to really happen, but it is. Um, yeah, it just seems there's not really much innovation in the sport, is there?
We keep going back to the same old stars, and if you point it out, you're a hater. You're bitter. You're twisted. You're not allowed to say that, but promoters turn it on and off when they want, coming out with stuff like this. So let's talk like we always do on here. Very simply, we don't want to see Manny Pacquiao against Floyd Mayweather. It's a professional fight at all because they're probably going to get 200-300 million between them or whatever, and they're both desperate for money. We don't want to see it. That money would be better going getting these next generation. Going all the way down from heavyweights down to lower weights. Nick Ball should be on a lot more money. Willie Hutchinson, he excites me. He's got a bit of edge to him. I like that. I want to see the money thrown at these sort of kids. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've been banging drum saying we need to see Willie versus Whitaker. Why aren't we seeing that? Two young British
Yeah.
lads. They can come again if they lose. Get in there and do it. What? It just drives me mad, mate. We have to wait now, don't we? We have to have people built up, and they say down the line when we can do it at world level. Listen, they're not going to get to world level. Some of these guys. Let's just
If
chuck
they're
them in.
good
Let's see some
enough and
good
they're
rich
saying they're
fights.
good enough, listen, if they're good enough and they're saying they're good enough, they'll be world champions. But Groves and De Gale fought.
Exactly.
They went on
You
to
know,
win.
we've had. Sorry, mate. We've had it too many times over the years. British fighters, rivals, not getting in the ring together, or eventually getting in when it's too late.
Yeah. They're talking Whitaker against Ezra Taylor, aren't they? With
Yeah,
Willie
I've heard
Hutchinson
that.
at ringside screaming for winner. It shouldn't be like that. They should be trying to get in with Willie, shouldn't they?
Yeah, well, Willie's going to have to kick door down to get in there because they're not gonna push him forward because as much as we like him, a lot of people don't. Do you know what I mean? He's not a big seller as such. They've ran Boazzi down our throats for the last 8 year or whatever, and he's come to nothing, absolutely nothing. Career for me, it's gone nowhere and it's going nowhere.
Aaron. Boazzi got a bronze medal in 2016. In another 5 weeks, we're 2026, and he's
Yeah.
nowhere near even. You'd squeak him in top 10, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I'd have Lyndon Arthur to beat him personally.
He's not going to want to mention Lyndon Arthur's name, is he?
No, and I said I fancied Lyndon to beat that kid last week because I think technically as a boxer when he's on his jab, there's not many better in Britain. He's already beat Anthony Yard, so you know he should be banging drum for a world title shot, not like Sabuatsi or Parker.
Do you think that Lyndon might have had a stroke of luck other night?
No, I thought he won quite comfortably, and mate, he did well to turn it round. He tried to go a bit toe to toe with Brad Rear at start, and it didn't work out for him. That's not his style. That doesn't suit him. And when he got back behind his jab, he broke him down really well. I thought second half of the fight, he completely controlled it. I know he got the knockdown, but it takes a champion to get up and fight through that. And I'm impressed with Lyndon. It was a good performance, I thought.
Horsecock says that Lyndon's fight, as well as the other two fights, the Boazzi fight, obviously with Parker, and what were the other fight? Oh, Liam Cameron
Liam
against
Cameron.
Troy Jones, and Lyndon's fight with that dude. Horsecock says that there were 3 bad decisions.
I don't agree with that. I think I think Lyndon Arthur won the fight comfortably in the end. A couple rounds I'd say, but he looked comfortable in the end. I think Liam Cameron, it was a nip and tuck fight. I think they gave it to Liam on the fact that they can push him forward and put him in there with other people. Whether or not he deserved it, I'd have to re-watch it. I felt they were quite close. I weren't too upset with that decision. There were an argument for other kid winning, obviously, but it was a close contest. And Buatsi, that was a terrible watch, wasn't it? And I thought Parker didn't do himself any favours, although I thought he nicked it. He did not do himself any favours with that chucking himself on the floor and not making a fight of it.
Yeah. So you're
It
agreeing with
reminded me,
Terry then?
yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it's not as harsh as Terry. I think Terry had him winning by quite a distance. I thought Parker nicked it, but he didn't do himself any favours, mate. He didn't. He
Parker doing
didn't.
Andre Dirrell, didn't he?
Exactly what I was just going to say, mate. That fight reminded me of Froch Durrell so much. Yeah, it really did. So I mean, listen, I don't mind if the judges don't want to reward someone for not dirty tactics as such, but a lazy tactics, like a raiding tactics, as they'd say, wouldn't they? He come in there, he's trying to nick the fight, and although I thought he did just about win it, I weren't too upset that he didn't get the decision. I've seen worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, and who cares about Parker? Let's be honest, he's heart of a pea. Whenever he's been in there with somebody half decent, he don't want to make a scrap of it, mate.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think to this Eubank ambulance story, Aaron?
Um, I mean, I've seen a clip of an ambulance stood waiting to get through a gate, but that don't mean anything, does it? I think they're all in on it, to be honest, Russ. They need an angle to self-fight. I think they're just making it all. I think they're all in on it. Eddie's not going to press charges. He's probably in on it, mate.
I was just about to say, right, they can't go through the egg slap, can they? They can't tip tables, spit water, and do all that. I mean, that kid who tried it with egg on
Yeah.
Billy Dennis, right, other day on Joe G's fighter. Well, he got beat anyway, but it were all a bit, we've seen it, all a bit repetitive. And now, do you feel that because they're guaranteed X amount? I mean, I'm hearing 12 million on upside, so that's probably 10 guaranteed, and usually throw a couple of mil on top if they hit certain numbers. Do you feel that they're just happy with what they've got and they've run out of ideas to promote it?
Yeah, they've got to try and make some kind of angle, aren't they? Because if we're being honest, Eubank pretty much, walked that fight.
Yeah.
Um, so and we've had the dads, we've had all that, we've had the eggs, we've had the drug failures, we've had all the nonsense we can possibly think of. So, it's now, and I think he made a bit of heat last time, didn't he? Having a go at Frank and Eddie and whatnot, shouting them all down, calling them all scumbags. So they've just gone with that narrative to try and push the fight. I don't know anyone who's excited about it. No one's talking about it that I know.
No, nobody is with me. All we're hearing is Crusher going on about his £500,000 Rolly that he's driving about in.
Well, he is, but they've not sold many tickets, have they? They're still available now if you look on website.
Thousands on that website. If you look, Tottenham Hotspur, go and have a look.
Yeah. It's not sold at all, has it, mate? To say, well, this barnstormer, the first one, and a legendary generational great fight, Bean doing his
Well,
nutting.
Turkey's putting money up in it, so nobody's bothered about doing note about it. Are they pushing it?
No, that's very true, mate, as well, yeah. Because he's putting the bill, isn't he, really? So, it's
Yeah,
already
they're
cashing
all
bank.
sat on the settee casually with the shirts on like they're going to beach. You know what I mean? Because it's somebody else's Reddies. Put your own poke up, and they're all having heart attacks. You know what I mean? But having to write scripts and all that. Well, they can't write the 274-page dossier script and you failed all these dope tests because they did that last time, didn't they? So they're struggling for stories on this one. But like I said, was it they're guaranteed 10 apparently, and upside they're saying it's 12 if they hit certain targets, but they're not bothered about hitting them targets. It wouldn't surprise me if the fix is in and they go for a trilogy. Like I said, pop, pop, bang.
Well, it happened with the old men, didn't it? The draw in the second one. So, I won't put anything past them, mate. And it's all, like we've just been saying, it's all about money spinning and making as much money out of it as they can and selling us duds. They're not bothered if we're happy with end products or not, as long as they're filling coffers, mate.
Yeah.
Which they are doing, aren't they now? I think I think they've got wise to them, mate. The Saudis, I really do.
Do you think, Aaron, that it'll be Crusher all week going on about wealth and this and that? And what about that one other day where somebody were carrying his bags and that? He's getting to be a little bit like Canelo, isn't he? And Mayweather, do you think?
Yeah, strolling around in them pajama type shirts and that, weren't he? I mean, he's got no style, has he, the kid? You know what I mean? He dresses like a plant pot, doesn't he? And well, they both do, in my opinion, to be honest, what money they've got. But I just find him a grating, Ben. He's unlikable. You can't warm to him in any way, shape, or form. I just want to see him get splattered, mate. And like I said to you on build up to this fight, I'm a bit concerned about the weight issue and the hydration and whether or not Eubanks had long enough to recover because he was in a bad way apparently in that hospital after the fight due to the dehydration. So that's the only question mark for me. Realistically, Eubanks should see him up weighing this time. Now he's got Bomac in his corner. They should be working on counter attacks and he should be catching him on the way in so easy because Ben makes so many his stance is so wide, he makes so many mistakes, mate, on the way in. I
Yeah.
do think Eubank should be able to hit him with that uppercut this time or catch him on the way in, but it remains to be seen, doesn't it? We need to see what kind of condition he's coming in at.
Well, I'm fed up of hearing Eubank Junior going on about this being a middleweight and this and that. This is his ninth fight at middleweight, right? And technically, he's won every single one except the Liam Smith one. So what's his problem, really? He's a 6-year middleweight and it's his ninth fight on trot at middleweight. So why is he squeaking on about this? He signed a contract. So, well, what's your problem? You're getting paid handsomely for doing it with that clause in it, if the clause is even in at the moment, because they're all a bit coy about it, aren't they? But it's a
Mm.
boring, tired old story. So it's just time to get it on. You're getting a fixed amount. You're not bothered about pay per view. you know, because it's Turkish channel anyway, DAZN. I mean, he's shooting his son in foot half at time, really, isn't it? And this is why this lot are going to manipulate it. These promoters are going to milk all these, your Chizoras, your Eubank Juniors, your Crusher Bens, and these others from Donkey Derby. They're going to keep milking it now because there's no stars coming through, is there? But nobody wants to say that, do they? Oh, you're a hater.
Yeah, I think, like you say, he shot his Senate foot because, like you say, they're not really pushing the promotion as hard this time because the money's already there, sat for them. So,
Well, they're not. Analytics suggest it. It's like
yeah.
less than a third of what they did for the first one. So they can't, they all know what's going on.
Yeah, and it's, they'll dine out and say, it sells itself, but it doesn't, does it? Obviously, because they've not sold the stadium out, like they probably expected they would do. It's near to Christmas as well, mate, and like we've said in past, people are struggling now to get out and about and do things, and this is, Christmas is around the corner. People don't want to be paying for pay-per-views, tickets for boxing fights and hotels and that. It's bad timing, in my opinion. But they just wanted to get it in, didn't they, as quick as they could before Eubank really does turn that corner. For me, he's a shot fighter, but Ben's not. Ben's not at any level. So that's why it's quite even.
Yeah. I know his cheese has slipped off his cracker, but do you think English will turn up?
Well, we never know, do we? We never know. I imagine he would because he were there last time, and there's not been any talk of him not being there. He seems to have buried the hatchet, done he now with Chris Jr. So yeah, hopefully he's there, mate, because he's a character. He's a legend, and how much longer do we get guys like these around? This generation didn't produce them, is it?
No, yeah. Yeah. Will Bomac make a difference, do you think?
Yeah, I'd like to think so, mate. As I say, tactically coming in, I just think he'll be a much sharper counter-punching style fighter for this fight, Eubank. A bit of what Crawford did against Errol Spence. He caught Spence so many times on the way, and it were ridiculous. He made him look like an amateur. And Eubank can do that to Ben because Ben is so he's just so basic in his attacks, and he's got a terrible wide stance, and he dips low, and he's just begging for that uppercut. So I think that might happen, a little bit like what he did to Liam Williams early on in their fight, if you remember.
Okay. Uh, Moving on then from that shower of shit. But before we do, Juggear's explaining why Crusher is a shock favourite, the tenacity and the work rate and the toughness. What do you think to that on Talk Sport from Juggear's?
Well, they'll just give him a piece of paper, won't they, in the morning and say, "Here, Jug ears, read off that and embellish it a little bit more,
Yeah,
Let yourself get carried away with that. Stick roughly to this narrative, but, embellish it as much as possible." And that's what he does, isn't it? He's a blowjob for AJ, isn't he? And rest of them down there.
yeah. The CD Gad talking the Gypsy King against Big Meech, but in the summer next year. Yeah, yeah. He's also when Fury's 38, and he's also saying they're going to have a tune-up fight, one or two each. I mean, are they just going to keep milking and milking and milking? And what if somebody gets an injury in these tune-up fights?
Well, there's 10 million plus on table for each one of these tune-ups, isn't there? No matter who they go in with. That's the thing. Do you know what I mean? Uh, who are they going to tune up against? Because there's not many people out there in top 20 who won't be AJ slapping, I don't think. And Fury, well, he's fat as a pig, isn't he? It depends what kind of shape he wants to come at. He could give us a terrible performance in a tune-up like he does often.
Well, I look at it like this, me, right? Anthony Joshua's last title win was against Pulev, an old man. And Fury's last title win was his third win over Derek Chisora, and he bashed him up fucking for a third time and stopped him. That was 2022. So they're both like 5 and 3 years since they've had a title win. Would you say they're yesterday's men now?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. definitely yesterday's men. They're over the hill and far away, as far as I'm concerned.
And have the fans been cheated out of them fighting years ago when they were at the peak?
Yeah, I mean they've both been really inactive, haven't they? One fight a year, AJ, if that, and Fury's been even less than that, hasn't he? So you know they really have pulled it out the bag in terms of ripping people off, definitely.
Whose best win would you say AJ's best win is?
Do you know, I was thinking about this earlier. It's funny you should ask that. It's hard to think of a real live dog he's been in with, isn't it?
Yeah. Could you say Vladimir were a live dog? That's his best win, in
No,
my opinion.
it is his best win, I think. Yeah, on paper, but he isn't. He's not what you could call a live dog. He was a man at the very end of his career, coming off a loss and 18 months out. Well, 2 years out nearly. So
18 months.
yeah, so yeah, you probably would say Klitschko is his best win. In some terms, it flatters him because it's a bigger name than he were in the ring at the time. But yeah, it's hard to think who he's been in there who's a live opponent. Maybe Povetkin is one of his better wins at the time. But other than that, you're struggling to think, aren't you? Really?
Yeah. I'd say
I mean,
Fury's
Randy
best
Ruiz
win is Vlad.
rematch.
You what?
Sorry,
You what would you
sorry,
say?
Ross.
No, I
I'd say
said,
Andy Ruiz rematch maybe, but he were fat as a pig.
yeah, but I'm going to say Vladimir, 18 month off at settees, his best win. You could say he overcame adversity against Povetkin. You know that fight where he stood in ring at Wembley and said, UK's where it's at. And then
Yeah,
went to New York and Saudi and on and on and on.
yeah, yeah. I think Pulev were quite a good win for him.
I said
But he were
Povetkin
already.
there. I said Povetkin.
Sorry, sorry. I always get them mixed up for some reason. Yeah, Povetkin. Sorry, Povetkin were a good win for him, but he was already coming off a loss to Vlad himself and over the hill himself. So technically, he weren't a live dog, were he?
And Fury's best win, you'd have to say, is Vladimir in nearly 40.
Yeah, Vlad or Wilder, I guess. But you know how good were Wilder really? We're not too sure, are we? Because again, he fought a lot of stiffs.
Yeah, Olympic bronze, though, and it reigned 5 years. So we've got to give Fury credit there, don't we, really?
Yeah. Oh, and another thing, what I will say for definite is Anthony Joshua did not want no part of Deontay Wilder, did he? And
No,
Fury
he
went in
didn't.
there with him.
Or Ortiz, or David Price.
Yeah, they manoeuvred Ortiz around him, didn't they?
Yeah, well, they signed Ortiz and parked him up. Put him in with
I mean,
Rhino.
for me, the two live men who AJ's been in with is Alexander Usyk,
Yeah.
who gave him a spanking, and Daniel Dubois, who also
Yeah.
gave him a spanking.
You
And you
could
could say
say,
Andy Ruiz as well, because he was live dog in that first fight.
yeah. Oh, yeah, of course
They
you
all
can.
knocked him. They've all battered him, haven't they? Two have knocked him out. Other one pretty much had him out on his feet in last round, didn't he? Usyk.
Yeah. Do you think them rumours are true that Fury is playing hardball over the dough and the split and the rematch?
Well, you know, it's true to form, isn't it, I guess. So, yeah, he's going to push for every last penny he can get. Mr. Humble, who drives around in a Passat 05 plate, whatever it is. Yeah. He's not bothered about money, though, is he? And he's not.
No.
And then 1 minute he's not bothered about titles, and then he is bothered about money, and he just talks absolute nonsense, mate. Can't stand the man.
Yeah. Flex is
He's got
saying Kell Brook can still do the business.
what, retirement home?
Well, he's 40, isn't he, in spring?
Listen, Kel's one of my favourite British fighters at last 20 years, and I've a lot of love and respect for him, what he's done in his career.
Yeah, we have.
So I won't ever knock him, but I would say that his time's been and passed. There's nobody really for him to come back and fight that you want to see. Is he hanging on for a Eubank or a Ben? That's my thought. Hello?
Hey there, Paul.
Yeah, what happened then, mate? You weren't dead.
Oh, no, I'm not microphone, didn't it?
Oh, Techie shoes.
Hey,
Techie shoes, nightmare.
we're not fetched up with all this, sorry. So Kel's going to fight after being 4 year out, but the smart talk is Kel Brook, Eubank Jr., Crusher Ben, and Beefy and Billy Joe all in a round robin. I mean, Billy
Oh,
Joe.
man.
How is his name even in the mix here?
Well, Beefy's absolutely finished.
Yeah,
Absolutely finished. He's a carcass.
yeah.
Billy Joe. Well, I'm not even gonna. I mean, Billy Joe's another one, great fighter in his pomp, but come on, he's walking around 18 stone, shouting and swearing at coppers, getting arrested for nonsense and that. He's done. He's not coming back. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. Do you think Beefy will be wanting Eubank to lose against Crusher? Hoping he can
Oh
nip
no,
in and give him a tune-up fight or something before the app trilogy.
no. Has he not retired, Beefy? Because that last performance, well, he were gone, completely gone. I don't want to see him in a ring again.
I don't.
No, he was shot to bits, mate. Really, I mean, he was shot to bits against Eubank in that second fight, weren't he? And then it just was confirmed basically in his last outing.
Well, Aaron McKenna boxed his ears off, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah, he did. And he's a good kid. He is a good kid, and I fancied him to do that.
He don't be getting. He seems to be getting much hype, does he?
No, not really. I thought a decent fight for him would have been like a Kelly, Josh Kelly.
Yeah. Well, I give Beefy 1 round in that fight against
I
Aaron.
don't think. Yeah, I don't think I gave him a round, mate. I think he got absolutely his head boxed off. That wouldn't have happened 5 years ago. Beefy would have been well in that fight, but he just didn't have it. And McKenna were just too fresh for him, weren't he?
Yeah. Oh yeah. But Kelly mixed with any of them. What do you think? They need them names, don't they now?
Kel didn't have a lot left against Khan, mate. If we're being honest,
Calm
Khan
didn't
were
have
again.
no left.
No, nothing at all. He was shot to bits. But he's still trying to fight as well, isn't he? So
Well, I mean, he's trying to get a fight with Manny, isn't he? And
that's
yeah.
not going to happen.
What do you think to Johnny Fisher current state of play?
Oh, do we? I mean, do we care? He's just trying to get that Rhino. He's talking about Rhino again, isn't he? He just wants that Rhino rematch, the rubber match with Rhino. And yeah, listen, get it on again. Let Rhino spank him again because he's not going nowhere. He's not going to do anything with Slow Tony unless he gets on some special formulas, which we see people do miraculous things when they change to that matchroom gym, don't we? So you never know, I guess. But
Well,
I'm tipping him to do nothing.
yeah. Well, him and Rhino, there could be two men going at it, and both ranked outside top 100. Headlining.
Well, yeah, they've done it already, haven't they? So I've no doubt we'll see that third fight, mate. As you say, contracts are signed, aren't they? So I've no doubt they'll push for that. Rhino, who knows? Are they going to chuck him in again with somebody before Fisher? Get another paid out of him at Sheffield Arena, possibly.
Could we see Elmer ranked 101 against Rhino ranked 100 headlining on a pay-per-view? It'd be the first men ranked outside the top 100 that are headlining a pay-per-view on DAZN, coming to your homes 2026, boys and girls. Pop, pop, bang.
Like, you wouldn't put it past them, mate, would you?
Well,
It's not about
Eddie's
belts. It's
second
not about.
show, Eddie's second show of the year that he's put on his own. He put Boots Ennis on in America, 33-1 on, and now he's putting Johnny Fisher on, ranked 101 in Monaco on his second Matchroom solo show of the year. He's Eddie on slide.
Oh yeah, he's well on slide, mate. He's been down slide and he's in Ballpool now, mate, fighting for his life. That's where he is. He's effectively done. Once AJ's out of the sport, and if Ben gets spanked again, where's he going to go? Pat Brown, is that Whitaker? Is that the only two we've got now? And they're well down. They're not. They're not at any level yet to be pushing for world honours, are they?
Well, Pat Brown's had 11 rounds, and Whittaker's not had that many, has he?
No, and I do think Pat Brown's a decent fighter, and he could come really good.
Yeah.
It's like a horse kicking, but it's yet to be seen, mate, isn't it? And we need to see these matchups. We need to see Whittaker in with people like Hutchinson, Dan Aziz, someone like that. Linden, and we need to see Pat Brown mixed with someone like CBS, like you've said. He's vanished now, CBS, hasn't he?
Yeah, what's happened to him?
He just fell off a cliff, mate. They've had the money out of him, they've rode it, and now they're not bothered about promoting him and pushing him. They don't want to keep him on, do they?
No, they don't, mate. They don't. You're probably right on that, Aaron. You're probably right, mate.
I think CBS should move up to heavyweight if he can do it, and just get a couple of quid out of that. There's money to be made there. Why not? He could have another fight with Cole at heavyweight, couldn't he?
Yeah. What about Pat Brown against I don't know, Vidal Riley?
Yeah, that's a good fight, mate. Yeah, we're just going to say Vidal. That is a good fight. I think Pat Brown probably take him out though.
What about Tommy Fury, a cruiserweight, coming back 11-0? He's ranked number 7 in UK. Tommy Fury at cruiserweight. What about him and Pat Brown? Battle of Manchester.
7.
Yeah, number 7.
On what basis is he ranked 7th?
7th at cruiserweight. Tommy Fury. I'll just get it up now.
Jesus Christ! I tell you what. What about Callum Johnson? Why don't we stick him in with Tommy Fury? He'd absolutely ice him.
Callum Johnson against Tommy Fury. Oh my God,
Yeah.
it'd be a bloodbath, wouldn't it?
Yeah, let's see it. Come on, Tommy, you're going to be a world champion. Well, why don't you fight somebody who's been at best, who's a little bit over ill? Let's see how good you are.
Well, we're going to see how. Here we are.
Full
Tommy
of shit,
Fury.
mate.
Tommy
They're full of
Fury.
shit.
Tommy Fury, 11-0. 4 by way of on Button Moon with them 100 his dad put up there at bare knuckle. Age 26, 6 foot, cruiserweight, ranked number 6 now in the UK. Number 6. The top 5 are Billum Smith, Vidal Riley, Alois Youmbi, Chevon Clark, Aurel Egnat, Tommy Fury, Lucas Rowring, Johnny Edgers, Ellis Zorro, and Scott Forrest. There you go. That's the top lot in UK, top 10.
Yeah, Zorro or Forrest would give him a scrap. They both beat him. Alois would kill him. He's not in that company, mate. Nowhere near that company. He daren't fight Darren Till. So what's that tell us?
Well, yeah, but Darren Till, we're on about taking him out with an headlock, wasn't he, though? In real life, if we bumped into him, so his arsehole might have fell out.
No, he'd destroy him destroy him in the street, destroy him in a cage, and I think he'd probably beat him in a boxing ring as well, to be honest with you, mate.
Tommy's last fight were against Kanan Hanjalik, a 5-1 dude, and his 6th round, and it went to points. So the guy's ranked 413 now. So, and Tommy beat him on points. So that was Tommy's last outing. So Tommy against Pat Barrett would be a slaughter. Pat Brown would be a slaughter, wouldn't it?
Pat Barrett would give a good hiding and all.
Pat Barrett would probably ice him as well, wouldn't he, if he wound that big left up?
Yeah, Big Pat would get in there and sort him out. No problem.
Unbelievable. Here we go. The Gad. The Gad's all over this morning going into bat for Fury. And I always spoke about it the other day. And he's saying, when you get attached to these people, you build relationships. Well, when you're in the media as a journalist, they tell you not to do that, don't they? I know that from speaking to them. He's on the selection committee for the Ring magazine. He's got Fury at 1, but he won't be allowed to put him in that rankings after Christmas. So it's going to be interesting, isn't it, to see what they do with them rankings, because why is he took out? There's no lined up for him. And why isn't he took out? I meant, sorry.
Well, I think they're just trying to keep him in there in the hope that something's going to materialise with AJ. But I don't think he actually wants. I think he wants the money. I don't think he wants to get in there and do the hard work. Fury now. I think he knows he's of it ill and far away, doesn't he? But who knows, mate? I mean, we can go round and round and round in circles with them two. It's pathetic. It could have happened 6 months ago, couldn't it? Really, could have. We could be on for second one now.
Yeah. The misleading public. I mean, you know that guy that Pat Brown's just iced? He'd been in with Sullivan Barrera 8 years ago and Biville 9.5 years ago. But the guy didn't do anything in them fights. Do you know what I mean? But, commentators, they're misleading people. I know that's a good win for Pat Brown against that
Yeah.
guy he just fought. But let's be honest. 8 years ago and 9.5 years ago, and in losing fights, still don't make you a big contender, does it? You see where I'm coming from? That's where
We've seen.
these
Yeah.
commentators give people false hope. Do you agree?
Yeah, we've seen saying with Conor Benn, haven't we, when he's been in with like Formella or what
Algeria.
were that? Algeria is a great example. Yeah, those guys, those type of guys. Well, we went the distance we so and so 12 years ago. Whatever it is, it's just nonsense. I think one of them
12
has got
days is
distance
a
with
long
Sean
time in
Porter.
boxing.
Yeah, I think one of them went distance with Sean Porter, and they were dining out off that, and that were about 5 year previous. You know what I mean? And Porter probably didn't even train hard for that fight. Probably just a marking time fight, wanted to get some rounds in. But in their eyes, it built Ben up, didn't it, as some contender.
Yeah. Okay, then we'll finish off on this. Does Fury and AJ happen in 2026? Bearing in mind Fury's coming up 38 next and AJ 37, or will they milk 2026 for two tune-up fights each with a few delays or injured arm or injured toe or whatever? Will they do that? And we're talking about it'll be 2027. Are they just going to keep us on up? Because we're approaching 15 years, aren't we, soon, since they sparred?
Well, we've got AJ now with Daddychenko, haven't we? So we're going to have to see what happens with this AJ point 4.0 or whatever they're going to call him now. He's definitely going to have a fight before that happens.
Yeah.
They're saying, aren't they, this year, before end of year, on that Inoue undercard. So we'll just have to see what happens with that one, mate. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I'm done trying to second guess them, mate, to be honest with you. Get it done, get it over with, and then we can move on and we can start to look at some new prospects like Atuma and whatnot, and Caballero, people like
Big
that, can't we?
freeze as well.
Yeah, big freeze, yeah. And Wardley, obviously. Usyk, I think he'll be out of sport in a year. Hopefully he'll not carry on too long and get defeated. I think he's probably got one or two left. So, 18 months time, hopefully we're looking at these fights having had been made and done, and we're past them all now, and we're on to pastures new with some, exciting new prospects. But I'm not going to hold my breath, mate, because we know what it's like, don't we?
Yeah. Does Derek get his 50th fight this year?
Yeah, it's done quiet, that, hasn't it? With White, is that not coming off now?
No. Yeah, I don't think it is that, but Derek's saying he's definitely fighting though, December 13th in Manchester. So does it happen? It's a bit close to knuckle now for it to be a good one, isn't it?
Listen, mate, if Rhino wants it, they should stick him in with Chisora for that one. Why not?
White don't need a camp, he's just had a fight.
Yeah, saying Rhino, if he wants it,
Rhino will
stick.
take Chisora. Rhino and Chisora,
Yeah.
I'd be up for that.
Yeah, stick him in. Why not? It's a slugfest. One's going one way, other one's going back down again if he gets beaten. So, why not? If Dave wants it, do it.
Brilliant. Well, listen, thanks for coming on, Aaron, and having a chat. I hope you're well.
Yeah, really good, mate. Thank you for having us on again, Russ. And yeah, we'll look forward to this weekend's antics, won't we?
Okay, you take care. Cheers, pal.
Cheers, mate. See you later. Ta-ra.
Right. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. And a big shout out to Spartan Demolition, sponsors of Porky's Corner. Peace out.